I am very tired. Couldn't really sleep last night. And barely dragged myself out of bed. It is only my love for my friend Rhett Palmer, not wanting to let him down.
We're live in the studio this morning, Studio 95, Royal Palm Point. How are you, ladies and gentlemen?
What's it like meeting someone that is family that you had no idea was family before you met them?
It's traumatic and wonderful. What do you do to keep your wife?
To keep her, we'll go out and do like a date night thing, and she'll say, wow, I haven't seen you in like 3 days where we can actually just kind of relax and go out. And she goes, and I forget how much fun I have with you. I'm not as affectionate as I probably should be. I actually have to think about it. It doesn't come naturally. When I do it, everybody tightens up like, what are you doing? This isn't, what's the matter with you? You know, is something wrong? You know,
all of a sudden it's like a robot.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Must hug. These guys
Come on,
that
you guys,
hug.
get up. Let's get to a
We're all gonna
hug.
hug. I'm wet though.
Here we
The
go.
rain. I resisted the urge to kiss you though.
Oh, good. Thank you. Well, actually,
Look at Mr. B. Those who don't think it's a macho thing to hug,
yeah.
there's a study that was done with sports teams. Those who did congratulatory kind of slaps and hugs, and
Yeah. Wow.
it was a better predictor for who won the game than who was ahead at halftime.
They were emotionally bonded.
Because they were bonded together.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, we
So
were just
I like that. I think we need that.
we were just
Especially
talking on
as we
Sunday
become-
about addicts and how it really is a matter of bonding, not a matter of addiction.
Right.
That they're being bonded to drugs or alcohol, but if they're bonded to community, they find that they are able to recover.
And we're in a world now where we're too vanillaized, if there's such a word, where we're too
Like dun 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 vanilla iced.
yes,
No, what do you
we're
mean?
too vanilla-iced.
You know who you do need to get on the radio at some point is Robert.
Oh, please. I love Robert.
I was filming.
I love you. Hold on. Dear sweet Robert, you're so tender and true. What are your negative aspects? Now, we asked Chuck. Now, Chuck's negative aspects was that he's a little overbearing with his protection, would you say? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay. And what is your negative, Richard?
Me?
Yeah. What do you do that
I negative? No.
Well, I was going
I
to
don't
say
have-
I had a whole bunch more to add to that. But we'll come back.
Oh, okay.
No,
we
no,
can
no.
go on you, Chuck. We can go on you for a while. That's okay with
Now,
me.
you know what
Now,
you
I've
know
got a
that
lot
you
of things.
do.
One of them is, of course, with my headaches and migraines, I will get annoyed at everything Kate does.
Anybody out there know who we are? Could you text me at 772-473-7777?
Tell us what we are.
473-7777.
I love
Please
the
text
fact
us.
that Rhett just said, does anybody know who we are?
I mean,
I'll tell you another one of my big flaws.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
One other,
Can we tell some of yours too? When you're done?
yeah, sure. When it comes to Kate, I expect her to do the things that I do, and sometimes they're unreasonable. Sometimes I shouldn't even be doing some of the things I'm doing, and then I expect them from her, and then when I have to remind myself that
Wow.
that's not.
I mean, expectations?
Yeah, like working really hard all the time. And she is super engaged in ministry. She loves going out. She loves people. She loves talking to people. She loves
Wow.
building relationships,
Wow.
pointing them to God. She loves
Wow.
Jesus.
She loves Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pick on Kate.
Yeah.
But people saying they love Jesus. Now, you know how you'll know if people love Jesus?
Yeah.
They will love you.
Oh, she does.
Yeah. Feed the
And it's
hungry, clothe the naked, visit
Yeah.
those in prison, because that's what he's checking out.
My wife, if you look at her Facebook page, you'll see just myriad of girls, right, with her. And one of my friends from Michigan even posted,
Wow.
I'm so glad that you have such good friends and stuff like that, which they are in some ways. But those aren't actually just her friends. Those are the youth kids of the youth group. And these kids, some of them come from very difficult backgrounds and had a hard
So
life.
she loves them.
And she loves them so richly.
No, it's okay. Let's talk about that. Life-altering moments. I'll go first, just to
Okay.
open up so you can be thinking about what you're going to say, because I'm pulling this on you suddenly. I remember.
Life-altering moments. I'll go first.
I almost spit up my coffee with that, Chuck. It was this close. Life-altering moments. I'll go first.
No, I don't want to go. No,
Go
I'm not
ahead,
gonna go. You're not gonna hear my story.
Mine probably one of my biggest, if not my biggest, life-changing moment was when my mom explained to me that, and explained to me that you've got to start loving people the way that you love God.
But I remember somebody saying, "Oh yeah, I've had pain in the chest." You have?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I felt that icy cold waking up in the morning where you can't eat or you vomit. Really?
Yeah.
And you go, "Oh, thank God!" Kind of like your shoulders go down. You go, "I'm not here alone." So somebody might be listening to this broadcast right now. Maybe you need to know you are not alone.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not an accident that I do the ministry that I do either. You know, when I grew up, I didn't have any friends. I didn't have any friends for a long period in my life.
Because of your sickness?
I had the migraines that was limiting. I can't
imagine you with no friends.
I was a socially awkward kid.
Did you hide into your intellectualism because you were summa cum laude?
Absolutely.
Because you said there was a time when your mother spoke to you and said you've got to get richer relationally. Who was that, Richard? And what was the turning point? How can you just be turned off, and then be turned on to human beings?
Well, I started listening. Before I was always, the key to life is being right and having knowledge and
being right?
Yeah, and the information. So I would study, I would, get information, I'd study theology, philosophy, answer the big questions of life. That's all I have time for. And then,
Not people.
Not people. No, because, what do they know? They're not trying to figure out the big questions. Some of them are, and those are the ones I want to talk to.
Very few, yeah.
But very few. And then my mom pointed out to me, like you did earlier in the broadcast, the verses that talk about how if you really want to know what life is about, what God is about, you need to know what love is about. And the way you do that is by relationship. So you need to start listening and learning about people, is what she told me. And so I started doing it, and I'd started, like a scientist, pathetic as this is, would study a new species is how I would be studying people, and I'd just be making notes all of a sudden and listening and going, maybe I was rude there, and maybe it's not just about winning the argument here, and maybe there's a bigger picture. Have you heard about the rat park? The rat park experiment?
No.
So they have for years, with proving addictions for substance abuse, done this thing where they have a rat in a cage, and they have water, and then water with heroin. And what ends up happening is the rat, surprise, surprise, drinks water with heroin and eventually becomes addicted. Okay, and this is the whole history of our understanding of addiction comes from this study. Well, this one professor, Professor Alexander, decided he wanted to try something a little different. Because he realized something. All we're giving him is water, and water with heroin. There's nothing to play with, there's nothing to do, there's no cheese, there's no relationships. So he designed a rat park that was this rat utopia, had all the cool stuff a rat would ever want, and water, and then water with heroin. So of all the rats that lived in Rat Park, not one ended up becoming addicted to water with heroin. They all preferred the water to the water with heroin. And basically,
Are you sure this is true?
This is a true story, 100%.
So what you're saying is really our enemy is isolation.
Our enemy is isolation, absolutely.
You're only 30, and I am 33 years your senior.
Okay.
Now, the thing about the peer thing is either I realize that, Rhett, you're very immature for a 60-year-old, and that's why Richard is one of my best friends in my life now, or you're exceedingly accelerated growth syndrome,
Maybe a combination. We meet somewhere in the middle.
Well, I'm in here with a friend of mine, and he's a local pastor, and he was quoting your movie. And what was the line you were quoting?
I was quoting when the priest says, "Son, in this world we have come up with two irrevocable facts.
Son, in this world I've come up with two irrevocable facts.
One, there is a God.
One...
Yep.
Yeah!
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah, man. That's out of your movie, man.
On the phone with Rudy Ruettiger, the real thing.
So this is, I actually, I haven't taken the liberty of calling you since you were here, but I just wanted to let you know we're sending out vibes of love to you, Rudy. Rudy.
Yeah, it's a great quote. It's a foundation of wisdom.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Now, that's what's totally cool. Is that cool?
Yeah,
Is that cool? You're talking about a movie. You make a quote from the movie, and we call the guy
the guy, yeah,
himself.
the movie's based on.
Why did they get the favor?
That is me on the radio. Definitely not an experience I'm used to. Driving in a car and hearing myself talking on the radio. I guess it was a previously recorded thing, so that's pretty cool. On the radio, on the radio. So, I hate my voice, by the way. So, listening to my voice on the radio is not actually something fun to do. Like it's some kind of drug deal. I am buying lunch for my wife, so I'm dropping it off down the street because Kate doesn't want me to even see the house at all, which makes me very curious. So here I am waiting for Kate, who is all the way over there, if you can see her, far off in the distance, with her little umbrella. Because I have been excommunicated from the house. Hello.
Hello.
Nice umbrella.
Thank you.
We exchange. And I get this package, she gets that one. So I don't usually do a end of the day recap. What did you learn today, son? But since it's 1 a.m. and I'm still up, still doing ministry, I thought that I'd talk a little bit about, and maybe even just kind of reflect in my own head about ministry. Because I spent a lot of time on the phone today with a couple different people, completely unrelated situations, and just their life has been thrown in chaos. Had the privilege again of being there for somebody who really needs someone and wants to talk about very serious issues in life. Those make or break moments in our life. As Colossus says in Deadpool, 5 moments, 5 times. That's the hero. I don't remember what he actually said, but it's 5 moments, you know. And there might be 5 moments in our life. Maybe that's true. Turning points. Where we choose life or choose death, where we choose addiction or we choose freedom, where we choose a relationship, which could go either way of keeping that relationship. And I get to be there in these moments with people and pray for them, not make the decision for them, because that's between them and God. But to give them the best advice I can, to most importantly listen to them, and then to pray, and to see what God does. And God always does something. Because here's the coolest part about those moments. If we choose to go the wrong direction, it's not like it's too late. If we choose death over life, addiction over freedom, if we choose isolation over relationship, it doesn't mean that it's too late. Because God truly can make all things new.